We are on 2017's home stretch of CitySpan, your source for news and information in and about the city of Savannah. Workshops, retreats, conversations, and clarifications. The end result, a balanced budget for the city of Savannah. You'll see major changes, including lower taxes and a fire fee. We're going to sort it all out for you. City reps are heading to the state capitol in the coming months with a solid crime-fighting menu. We'll go in-depth with our 2018 legislative agenda. Malcolm McLean helped smooth Savannah through the civil rights movement. Now he's honored on the trail. From holiday decor to safety tips, you can bank on this. So hop aboard, take a ride with the mayor. CitySpan, straight ahead. Welcome to our holiday December edition of CitySpan. I'm your host, Ken Slats. We head into 2018 balancing the budget, a process that sees a tax cut, a fire fee, and tons of talk and negotiations.
City Manager Rob Hernandez opened the budget retreat with a movie clip from Fight Club, a tip of his hat at what would be at times tough negotiations. The retreat lasting 2 days and negotiations continuing into the next week. Bottom line, the city has been funding more than it can handle over the long term. Budget cuts are a must.
Funding reductions is part of this budget. There are new fees that are part of the budget, primarily a fire fee, but there are also some service enhancements that are part of this budget. And there's some capital projects that they're willing to fund this year. More importantly, there's a big increase in terms of resources to the police department.
What I said we would do the Berkshire study. That's what I've been saying all along. That is all that is. There's a Berkshire study, and this is bells and whistles that the chief might want. Well, we don't have money for bells and whistles. We got money for the Berkshire study because that's what we agreed to.
Council has also agreed to a fire fee, not at 100%, but enough to take the burden off the already stretched general fund.
The fact that we can take and move the fire fee and the fire department into a separate account to where we can't bother it. Long term, it's going to make it a lot easier for those that come behind us to do budgets, including ourselves when we do one next year and the year after.
It's one of the reasons why we were considering a fire fee, because we needed to do something to stabilize our revenues and expenditures over the short term or the long term.
While most of the work is done, details are being worked out. The budget must be approved, as per state law, by midnight, January 1st, 2018.
Savannah Fire has been obviously busy this holiday season. It is the time of year where fires are more frequent, and there are many reasons why. You can play your part to help diminish the danger, and it's mostly a common sense approach.
Check your smoke detectors. Make sure that the batteries are functioning properly.
And this is just the start. According to the National Fire Protection Association, deaths in homes without a working fire alarm is double that with a working alarm. So check your batteries.
As far as your Christmas tree, make sure that it is safe as well. If it's an older tree and it's an artificial tree, just make sure that you still don't want too many lights. It could still be a hazard. Just because it's artificial doesn't mean it's immune to having a fire. If you're using a real tree, make sure that you keep water in the stand. Make sure that it has a way to stay moist. Even get a sprayer, a little mister, and spray the tree every so often.
A lot of people, they use space heaters, and we have a lot of problems with that. You've got to make sure you keep it away from any flammable materials. Make sure it can't get knocked over by a pet or a child. You know, so its placement is very, very important as far as space heaters or keeping your fireplace clear.
Other tips include keeping a solid eye on candles, frequently burnt during the holiday season. And it's the season of cooking. Use timers for reminders when using your stove and oven. Savannah Fire has hung a large wreath at its downtown Oglethorpe headquarters. It's the Keep the Wreath Green initiative.
And the goal is, through fire safety education, safety tips, and awareness, that we will reduce the amount of structure fires that we have, and especially fatalities during that holiday season.
If we do have a structure fire, we take out the green and we replace it with a red bulb. So that is for community awareness. We want to get it out there that fire is everybody's fight. And so it takes us, it takes the community and the business owners and the residents all working together to keep us safe.
If it's in the front of somebody's brain and they've got it actively on their mind, they're going to be more careful and more aware.
We still have much more to come on CitySpan. We'll dig deep into the legislative agenda. 5 key items our local delegation is taking to Atlanta to fight for. Speaking of fighting for, former Mayor Malcolm McLean fought for justice and equality during the Civil Rights Movement. Now he's on the trail from the Georgia Historical Society. We'll take you there. As we head to break, check out our hardworking crew from the city of Savannah decorating downtown's Broughton Street. One more reason why we live in the most beautiful city in the world.
Hi, I'm Corporal Brown.
And I'm Officer Norris. Thanksgiving is over and the holiday shopping season is here.
More and more people are choosing to do their shopping online. In 2016 alone, $63 billion was spent on the holiday season online shopping.
Due to that, more and more people will be receiving packages at home. That's why we're offering these simple package theft prevention tips to make sure the holidays stay cheery and not end up being dreary.
Some of the suggestions that we offer are having packages delivered to your workplace. Make sure that your employer is okay with this and this is allowed. Also, although they aren't complete deterrents, security cameras can come in handy when tracking down suspects and could potentially scare off a suspect. Also, you may want to consider asking a trusted neighbor to hold on to your packages.
Choose in-store pickup. Most retailers offer this as an option. Require signature on delivery. And finally, most companies will issue a tracking number for your order. Try to keep track of your packages as much as possible so you have up-to-date information on where your packages are.
We offer you these simple tips. You can view these tips online on our website, scmpd.org, or you can check us out on Facebook and Twitter at scmpd. And again, we wish you a happy and safe holiday season.
We live in a fast-paced world, so keep up with your local news, information, and happenings around town with the City of Savannah. Updates, tidbits, and breaking news. The City of Savannah on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We give it to you straight, complemented by a library of videos both on Facebook and YouTube. Informing the public, celebrating milestones, introducing you to the people of our town. The City of Savannah, using social media to be at your service.
Welcome back to City Span. Hope your holiday season is special so that we can keep you informed. Keep it tuned to SGTV. Check us out online, savannahga.gov, and we're on Facebook and Twitter. We are weeks away from the time our city sends its representatives to try and make a little bit of noise in the state capitol. The legislative agenda is set, and the City of Savannah wants change on the state level, most of which to give power back locally on the most important local level issues.
We're tired of young people walking around with rifles and long guns and really be within the law.
Alderman Van Johnson is one of our area's most outspoken proponents for tightening up gun laws. 3 of the 5 topics on the agenda deal with guns and violence, one of which is a state law where juveniles are tried as such.
So essentially a juvenile who has shot somebody. We want to give the district attorney the option of prosecuting that case in Superior Court, essentially the court for adults.
The juvenile system is really ill-equipped to be able to address them. They're doing adult crimes. And so we have to send a very clear message to our citizens that A, that behavior is not acceptable here, and that the consequences are strict.
The difference in penalties is great. So again, if you charge a juvenile with shooting somebody, the maximum sentence is 5 years. In Superior Court, the maximum is 20 years.
That's one of the things that we contribute to the issue is guns in the wrong hands, wrong people. And we feel like, 1, getting them destroyed, 2, getting them out of the hands of juveniles, and if they do have them and they commit crimes with them, we need to try them to the point that people realize that it's not something they want to do.
The mayor mentioned getting guns destroyed. Currently, state law mandates that if someone's convicted of a gun-related crime, the confiscated weapons must be sold back on the open market.
The state law does not allow us to destroy weapons that are confiscated during the course of a prosecution. We want the ability to destroy those weapons. We want to take guns off the street.
I think it's something that a lot of people agree on, but for some odd reason it doesn't get any traction. So I want to make sure that we, try to at least put our word out there that the police chiefs and most of the people around are interested in having those guns destroyed.
We're saying here in Savannah, give us the right to be able to determine for ourselves. So if you have a weapon that you can't determine who the legal owner is, or it has no evidentiary value, that we're able to destroy them.
Right now, again, it's pretty perverse. We're out there investigating a gang crime. We confiscate weapons, bust up a gang, and the law says we have to put those weapons back on the street again, where someone, a potential gang member, can buy those weapons and, again, use those in the course of committing a crime. We think that works against our crime-fighting efforts out there, so we're asking for a state law change there.
The final agenda item dealing with violence is geared toward crowds, specifically St. Patrick's Day in Savannah. Currently, the city cannot prohibit weapons in the festival zone.
We don't think that guns are compatible with 100,000 people in a small contained area. We just don't. We think that's a recipe for disaster.
The issue is really not about the uniqueness of it or the amount of people. What is unique about it is the alcohol. St. Patrick's Day is built as the great old party.
We want to make sure that we push those issues and stay on point, and hopefully long term we get the results we want.
We certainly know it's an uphill battle in Atlanta, certainly because of the influence of the NRA. But the reality is what we expect our local legislation to do is to take the wishes of this council and our citizens here and go to Atlanta and fight for us, fight for hell like us, and be able to say that, we're tired of young people being shot in the streets.
Now, there are two more major issues on the legislative agenda coming from the city of Savannah to our state capitol. The first has to do with the renaming of the Talmadge Bridge to the Savannah Bridge. This item has been brought to the state level without success in the past. And finally, a topic in which the city of Savannah is kind of a leader in: short-term vacation rentals. The goal is to stop the state from taking the lead on this and allow local governments to govern their own.
The legislature has pre-filed a bill this session which would take all regulatory powers away from local government and put it in the hands of the state. They want to deregulate that industry. The legislator has been working with the industry itself, groups like Expedia, Travelocity, who want as little regulation as possible. And I think this legislator's position is deregulation is the best regulation, so we don't agree with that. We feel like there needs to be a balance, it can't be just the industry above all else. It needs to be a balance between those who between our visitors' needs and those who are trying to live and work downtown.
The state legislative session is a 40-day session, which begins in January. Now, November 15th was a big day on Earth. Do you know why? It was America Recycles Day, and the city of Savannah takes that topic pretty seriously. We joined up with Savannah State University right in front of Tiger Arena to urge residents and, of course, students to recycle. Deanna Franklin, the city's environmental compliance inspector, and Dr. Sue Ebanks, associate professor of environmental sciences, started this event on campus, and they hope to continue the partnership with the city of Savannah for many more events.
Many students don't know the importance of recycling because eventually we're going to run out of space in those landfills, and it's just important to take care of our planet, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Plastics, cardboards, cooking oil is a big deal because we have over 80 blockages a year in the Savannah area. So we want students to know that you shouldn't pour grease down the drain. You should bring it here and recycle it. We are also located at 1400 East President Street, where you can recycle anytime, 24/7. We're available for you guys.
Again, that's at 1400 East President Street, just to the east of the Truman Parkway. You can't miss the big plant there. The drop-off is just toward the left side of the building. The mesmerizing fragrance of fresh smoked barbecue, ribs, and chicken will soon be wafting over the west side, thanks to the help of the Small Business Assistance Corporation. Leandria Michael has more on this month's Small Business Spotlight.
This month we're visiting Mofo's Barbecue. It's right off of Bay Street in front of the International Longshoremen's Association. A husband and wife team joined up with their love for barbecue to bring you something mesmerizing that they hope you'll enjoy. Let's go inside.
I got started cooking with my grandparents about the age of 5. As it went on, I found my love for barbecue right after I started college for IT. You know, you might eat places that, and you know, you spend a bunch of money and you can't remember what you ate a week ago. So I wanted to make dishes that were memorable and also that had flavors that balanced and taste well. We started it in 2011, catering and barbecue competitions. I wanted to make sure that not only was the flavors was right, but I wanted to make sure that it was good enough to win. So we started out with the GBA and a couple local competitions, and after a few failures, we won. So we kept going, and then, you know, we just came naturally into a restaurant type situation, which we're, you know, in 2018 we'll be opening.
We got into contact with the SBAC through some of the classes we attended through SCORE and other entrepreneurial services in Savannah.
There's actually a lot of free information that the city offers, and I just took a few of those classes and just from those expanded my knowledge on what it would take to start a business.
And as we were hoping to open Mofo's Barbecue, we were looking for funding options, and we found that the SBAC was really helpful with information and also with financing our business. Our relationship with them has been phenomenal. They have been excellent through the entire process of starting our business, getting funding, helping us with payments and things of that nature. I would say to other business owners, especially restaurant owners, if you're getting into the restaurant industry for the first time like we are, just to make sure that whatever space you're getting into, if you have inspectors or know people that work with the city, just talk with them, talk with people before you open so that you can learn the things that are required for your inspections and you can understand what changes might have to be in place. And Mofo's Barbecue, mesmerized over fresh and original barbecue. What separates us from other barbecue restaurants in this area is that we offer mesmerizing flavors. We cook low and slow, but we offer fast service.
Mesmerized over fresh, original barbecue. Sounds delicious. If you want to open a restaurant or any business, visit the Small Business Assistance Corporation. They're at 111 East Liberty Street. Or you can check them out online, sbacsav.com. I'm Leandria, and this is your SBAC Small Business Spotlight.
Thank you, Leandria. Way to make me hungry. Maybe I'm going to grab a bite to eat because, well, we do have a break coming up. Why not? But when we do come back, we're going to give you something to bank on, plus an update on a new animal control ordinance, and a tribute to former Mayor Malcolm R. McLean, his Georgia Historical Society Trials and Trails. Next, as we head to break, check out the festive feeling down on River Street this holiday season.
The ambassadors are assisting with the decorating of River Street. We have volunteers. The businesses that are members of the Waterfront Association are also helping out. This year we also decorated the tunnel underneath the Hyatt, so there is illumination underneath the Hyatt. So a lot of holiday decorations going on. The squares are getting decorated, both the commercial squares as well as residential squares for the holidays.
Hi, I'm Corporal Brown.
And I'm Officer Norris. Thanksgiving is over and the holiday shopping season is here.
More and more people are choosing to do their shopping online. In 2016 alone, $63 billion was spent on the holiday season online shopping.
Due to that, more and more people will be receiving packages at home. That's why we're offering these simple package theft prevention tips to make sure the holidays stay cheery and not end up being dreary.
Some of the suggestions that we offer are having packages delivered to your workplace. Make sure that your employer is okay with this and this is allowed. Also, although they aren't complete deterrents, security cameras can come in handy when tracking down suspects and could potentially scare off a suspect. Also, you may want to consider asking a trusted neighbor to hold on to your packages.
Choose in-store pickup. Most retailers offer this as an option. Require signature on delivery. And finally, most companies will issue a tracking number for your order. Try to keep track of your packages as much as possible so you have up-to-date information on where your packages are.
We offer you these simple tips. You can view these tips online on our website, scmpd.org, or you can check us out on Facebook and Twitter at scmpd. And again, we wish you a happy and safe holiday season.
welcome back to the stretch run of City Span. Help is on the way to further protect the health and welfare of our two-legged and four-legged citizens. At a recent work session, council members heard about proposed changes to the animal ordinance. The first phase addresses owned animals, licensing, enforcement, and breeder practices.
There are some important changes to the animal ordinance. We were really trying to, first and foremost, adopt a 3-year rabies vaccination, because that allows us to not over-vaccinate our pets, and that seems to be the industry standard throughout the United States. So we wanted to get that done. We also really needed to address dangerous dogs, menacing dogs, and also the breeding of dogs in this community. We seem to have a lot of dogs that are overbred, and they are mixed breed dogs. If you come through our kennel, they all look like brothers, sisters, and cousins of each other. So we really want to stop down these breeding operations. We actually have the support of the breeding community that does things correctly. We're talking about Craigslist and Facebook, that people are selling dogs for cash. These are poorly bred dogs that end up in our shelter usually before they're 2 years old. And of course, public safety is paramount as well. That is one of the reasons that we actually chose to do the dog portion of the ordinance first. This has always been intended to be a 2-phase project in terms of bringing forth the dangerous dog and the breeding restrictions, as well as licensing information, and then talk about community cats, because as we all know, that requires its own discussion.
Now, the changes to the ordinance are designed to encourage compliance instead of solely being punitive, and remove some of the more confusing regulations.
What we really are trying to do is implement common sense changes to the ordinance, because some of it was very confusing. There were different tiers for the vaccinations where we just want compliance. So we're taking some of the punitive things out that just were against regular pet owners that are trying to be in compliance, and really kind of laser target the issues in the community.
'Tis the season. Well, almost. We are talking tax season. If you plan ahead and start preparing now, you can save time and money later. Richard Reeve has some helpful tips in this month's Bank on This.
Tax season is just around the corner. It's important to be prepared for filing your taxes. Preparing now will help you stay organized and on track. This will also save you time and stress in the future. Here are some tips to make it easier. Collecting your documents ahead of time is essential. It will streamline the tax return preparation process. W-2s and other official tax-related forms should come by the end of January, but you can go ahead and collect other information like charitable contributions, self-employment information, and the Social Security card for each member of your household. If you don't have a bank account, consider starting one now. Then you'll be ready to use direct deposit. Direct deposit will allow you to get your refund faster, and it will keep your money safe. Visit bankonsavannah.org to get more information about accounts that might work for you. If you know you'll be getting a tax refund, consider saving a specific amount. Deciding that now will make it easier to stick to that savings goal when you have your taxes filed. You can deposit your refund into up to 3 accounts, so you can save some and spend some. Consider using a VITA site to complete your taxes. VITA, or Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, is a way to file your taxes for free. Go to www.niacdc.org to learn more. In addition to these tips, be aware of the new changes this year. Nationally, because of the PATH Act, families may see a slower tax return this year if they qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit or Additional Child Tax Credit. If you qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit, it could help you get a bigger tax return, but receiving those funds before February 15th is unlikely. No one preparing your taxes, including paid preparers and VITA sites, can get your refund faster. And some paid preparers may offer a small loan based on your refund, but you should understand how much you might pay for that short-term loan. Save your money and go to a VITA site this tax season. With 2018 fast approaching, there are only a few weeks to prepare for tax season. Get ready now and achieve those New Year's financial resolutions. Until next time, I'm Richard Reeve, and you can bank on this.
special afternoon in Savannah. In the Atlantic Mall area of Ardsley Park, the unveiling of the Malcolm R. McLean historical marker by the Georgia Historical Society. Mayor McLean served during the early 60s when racial tension in our country was at an all-time high. The civil rights movement was getting constant attention. Mayor McLean was smack dab in the middle of it. Current Mayor Eddie DeLoach pointed out that today the word politician doesn't garner much respect. Things were a lot different back then.
But it was a time when it was a great word, when we had statesmen that were walking the grounds and doing things that many people would not do. One of those people was Malcolm McLean. He stood up when others did not. He was a leader when others would not.
And Mayor McLean, along with W.W. Law, Eugene Gaston, Curtis Cooper, Mercedes Wright, and Esther F. Garrison, got together with a number of well-meaning whites in this community to help calm things down. When cities like Birmingham were exploding, Savannah remained calm. And much of this was due to the leadership of Mr. McLean.
Again, you can see the McLean marker yourself. It's on the corner of Atlantic Avenue and East 45th Street, just a block away from Savannah Arts Academy, down the mall area to the north. That will give us a wrap for 2017, so stick with us online, savannahga.gov, and right here on SGTV, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We do have you covered. Thank you for watching, and thanks for making Savannah your home. We leave you with some of the sights and sounds of the annual Mayor's Motorcade, delivering presents to the patients at the Georgia Regional Hospital on Eisenhower Drive. Happy holidays, everyone.
What's up? Good.